Welcome back, Magic Royalty family. It's Janisha,
And it's Phil.
and we have a guest today. It's my brother Jermaine.
Hello, everyone.
Today's video will be about relationships 101. The pros and cons of a relationship. Let's get started.
Okay.
What's on the first?
Our first discussion we're going to be doing today is talking about support in a relationship.
Okay, support is the foundation of your relationship. There's a lot of things that go into a relationship, but before you can get it started, you must know that when you get ready to step into it, you are willing to support that person completely. You are fully into supporting them. Whether it be bad, it be good, you have to be on their side at all times. And they have to be on yours.
Yeah, so in a relationship, you want to make sure you got each other's back, and you want to make sure that in each step of the way, if something's going on with you, they need to be there for you, and if something's going on with them, you got to be there for them, because it works both ways. And you just know that you have someone there for support. It's a comforting feeling, and it just builds your relationship.
Support to me, okay, it's almost like when you support somebody, it's not 50, it's not a 50-50 thing. You gotta support them all the way, just like they support you all the way. You gotta support each other all the way, because you each other's backbone, basically, in a relationship. It's just you and that person, really, and you gotta be each other's backbone.
All right.
Agreed. Okay, the next thing, a big one in every relationship, communication. And in my opinion, communication is my point might be the most important thing in a relationship out of everything in there.
Focus on communication.
Because if you can't communicate and work out things, talk to your partner about how you're feeling and do all this stuff, then it's not gonna work out.
Send me your location. Let's focus on communication. I don't need the time and place to come through. Come through. Okay.
Communication.
All right. So communication is key, which I know you hear that a lot, a hell of a lot, but it's very true, because when it comes to communication, there's body language, there's spoken words, there's unspoken words, there's facial expressions, there's written down language, there's text messages, there's emojis, but everything that you see and or hear or feel or touch, every sense of your body sends you some type of communication. You have to understand the 5 senses of everyone's body, whether it's you, whether it's the person you're dating, whether it's their family members. Be able to communicate with all of them, because that's what creates the biggest bond in your relationship. And though it gets hard sometimes, if you just pay attention to every little bit of signs, because the little things matter, people. The little things matter. And if you pay attention to all those signs, trust me, you'll be able to fit in the right spots.
If you can't communicate enough to yourself and be on board with your own self, then you can't be on board with everyone else, and you have to be able to let that known and be able to handle everything going on, and at least talk about it. You don't have to be physical, don't have to be in text, but you gotta let it be known, whether it's positive or negative, because if it's something negative or positive and you don't know how it's gonna affect someone else or yourself, then how are you supposed to move forward in what you're doing?
In your relationship, that's
In
your
your relationship.
Yes, because you don't want to have unspoken communication.
Like this goes back almost to what I was saying before earlier. Communication is the key. Without communication, there is no relationship. Because if you can't communicate, there's no need for you two to be, you and the other person to be together.
Exactly. And that kind of leads into our next topic is fights. A lot of them happen based off of poor or dead communication. That's just a fact.
True, because if you lack communication with your significant other, then most likely it leads into a fight because you weren't paying attention to what they said or how they were feeling before. And there's so many pros and cons to fighting, because I mean some fights are good fights, like it gets a lot off your chest, and you're not sitting there and letting everything build up after a while and then exploding and then hurting everyone around you, or hurting yourself, or hurting a significant other. Sometimes fighting's a good thing, but there's other times where fighting is so bad and it will break your relationship.
Fighting can be a healthy thing, but it can also be an unhealthy thing too.
It is destructive. It's just like feeding the fire.
Exactly.
Like, but when it comes to fighting, there's so much to talk about. There's so much to focus on. Like, what are you fighting about? How did it start? How can you stop the fight? Like, what can you do to prevent it from continuing?
What caused it? Is it senseless because you didn't communicate with someone? And sometimes maybe neither one of you were upset about something and you took it the wrong way. Someone else said something and then you're just mad at each other for no reason because you thought someone did this and they didn't, and they thought you did this and you didn't, or you did but it wasn't what you meant. And sometimes it's just because you have different opinions on some stuff, and sometimes it's okay to agree not to disagree on some things, as long as you got the same goal and mindset in hand. And that is what's a hard thing to focus, because some people be set in their ways and it's hard for them not even to change but to think of it in a different viewpoint. And if you start looking kind of be opened up on some other viewpoints of other people, then maybe you can kind of understand a little bit why they think that, or more or less it helps better with your communication.
Yes, and a lot of fights are brought up because someone assumed the wrong thing, or people, like, they just misread something, or they mishear something, and then they don't understand what happened, and they don't know what they did wrong because they either heard it wrong, or they read it wrong, or they didn't ask questions afterwards. Like, yeah, if you're fighting, the best thing to do is probably give that person space and think about what the fight is about. Don't edge the person on. Don't hurt them. Don't bring them down more because they're in that hurt stage. Like, and you don't want them to feel like you're attacking them, or you don't want them to feel like they're attacking you. Sometimes the best thing to do is to take a break, walk away, breathe a little, think about what the whole fight is all about. Started off at step one on how this fight even started, and then go back and ask questions. Even if you have to write it down and figure out what in the world caused this fight, it's always best to ask questions. What did I do wrong? Did I say something wrong? Where were we at when this fight occurred? Just think about your whole surrounding. And you don't want to cause a scene when you're fighting. That's the worst thing you want to do, because then everyone's in your business and we just don't need it.
Okay, next on with emotions. And they could be, you could be feeling some type of emotion based off stuff. People could ask your emotion. You could be emotional about anything, but we all get them. We all have emotions. Best way of dealing with ways when we get in our emotions, when we feel certain emotions, how to handle it. There's all types of situations, but you have to be able to deal with your emotions in a relationship.
Yes. Your input on the emotions?
Emotions. Well, emotions can go a long way, especially in a relationship, because, like she said, I mean, you can say the wrong, because you can be fighting with your person that you're with, and your emotion, and you get upset, and you get in your emotions and say some things that you don't mean to say, or you might do something that you don't mean to do. So just be careful with emotions. Another thing about emotions, don't play with other people's emotions.
Yes.
Because that is a bad situation right there. You wouldn't want nobody to play with your emotions. You know, you got feelings just like they got feelings. So I'm gonna say it like this. How the saying go? Do unto others how you would
Like them to do unto you.
Yeah.
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Right.
Yes.
And that goes with saying so many things, because depending on some people choose to be a bigger person, some people don't. Some people say, oh, if you're going to be mean to me, I'm going to be the meaner person. Or if you're going to be nice to me, I'm going to be the nicer person. You're going to be the B word to me, I'm going to be the bigger one. Like, there's so many things, but sometimes you don't need to do that. You don't need to stoop to someone else's level. Sometimes you got to realize you might be up here. You might already be on a high pedestal. There's no point.
They on that low level.
Or even
You're
sometimes,
they're down.
I see it sometimes happen, people are not getting enough attention, or they feel like they're not included in some stuff, and they get upset, and so they just lash out and start saying stuff, upsetting other people, because they want to be heard and feel like you're losing attention, and they're not getting the same attention they want to, or that they're on something so much that they get annoyed at things. But sometimes you gotta realize that happens.
Like, one of the main things, though, that you do want to pay attention with when it comes to emotions is that sometimes they don't appear to be what they actually are. Because someone's sadness could look like them crying. They could be crying and it look like they're sad, but they could be deep down angry.
I do that.
And someone's sadness can look so happy. Because you know how many people walk around with the fakest of smiles and they pretend that their life is going perfect, and it's really not. Sometimes they're hurting, and it's best to ask every day, are you okay? Do you need a friend? Do you want to talk?
Mm-hmm.
Check up on people, because not everyone's emotions and not everyone's signs that they are showing is an actual sign
And
that
some
they need help.
and
Like,
some people actually don't even know how they feel about a certain situation, because they got so much going on at once, and they need some time to process how they're feeling. Maybe it's not even directed towards you or towards someone else. It just so much is going on in their life, and they're stressed, or they got depression or lost a loved one, or something going on in their life, and they don't know how to react or respond to it, and they need some time to process it before they can even talk about it, because it's difficult.
All right, so you said sometimes they, speaking on that, so you said sometimes they might need some time to, so how much time is a reasonable amount of time? Do what you think, what do y'all two think?
I would say it all really depends on the situation.
depends on how they're feeling and what they're like, what signs they're giving you. Like, depending on the situation, I would say with a small mild fight, I would most likely go on a couple hours at most. Not even, sometimes it might be a couple minutes, depending on how well you know that person, how well you can get them out of that situation. Like, if you're really, really close, you can pull them out of that sadness, you can pull them out of their pain, their suffering, whatever. But there's other times where it might take more than a couple hours. It might take a day. It might take a couple days. But
Well,
it's still
weekend
best to communicate with them, check on them. I mean, sometimes people might not respond, but it's still best to call or send a message. Say, hey, I know maybe we're not talking right now, but I'm here. I'm thinking about you. I'm worried. Whenever you get a chance, get in contact with me. Let me know that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if you really care about this person, no matter if it's boyfriend, a family member, a best friend, you want to check on them. You want to be there 100% there with them just as much as they are with you.
Yeah.
And
That kind of goes into our next topic, which is loyalty.
Exactly.
Are you gonna be loyal? Are you gonna be there for the person? Can you be trusted? Is there a lot of stuff in the relationship that you can be like, I'm sure they're gonna be there in my corner, regardless, and be for me for everything?
Yes, and when it comes to loyalty, let's see. What's your definition of loyalty? What do you think?
Loyalty, someone that's gonna be there for you through thick and thin. They always got your back. It's gonna stick up for you. That's gonna be there for you when you're down. When you need somebody to talk to, they're like, hey, get up, get moving around. They motivating you.
I feel like it's almost like a support, but in a way, loyalty to me is, are you gonna be there when it's benefiting you, or when it's benefiting the other person, or are you gonna be there regardless of how it's going, what's going on in your life, regardless of what burdens and stuff you're going through? Are you gonna be there as support through thick and thin with this person? It's especially if you're in a relationship or you're close friends, are you gonna be there in a time of need?
Yes.
And that's more of a loyalty thing.
For
my
me,
opinion.
I would say loyalty is 100% a job. It is.
Yes,
it
it is.
It is a mandatory job for everyone,
And it's an everyday job.
and it is an everyday, 365 days of the year job. Because if you have a friend, a family member, a boyfriend, a girlfriend,
A job you have to show up
like
to.
whatever you have, a job, like there's so much things like that your relationship could build on that you have to be loyal with. Just like when you go to work, when you go to school, when you have to be loyal enough to get up and say, I'm doing this today.
Faithfully
I
go
have to
every
do
day.
it. Like this.
That's being loyal. Faithfully
It's
doing
being
it
loyal,
faithfully.
knowing that you have to do it every single
Every
day
day,
of your
yeah.
life, knowing that this is who makes you you. Like
Whether you want to do it or not.
whether
you
you're
have
having the
to
most
do it.
crappiest day of your life, whether you're having a happy, fantastic day, whether it's been the worst couple months ever, like it doesn't matter. It could have been the worst 10 minutes before you even went into work or went into school or whatever. But you have to be loyal enough to say, I'm still doing it. I'm still gonna give it a shot. I'm still gonna keep trying because it benefits me. It doesn't benefit anybody else around me. It helps me because in the end, it's your decision. It is your life, and with you being loyal and showing that you can do it and that you're fully committed into the situation, then it proves you got a lot of heart. You got a lot of strength in you because you keep pushing forward every single day to keep trying, to keep saying, oh, I got this. I can make it up there. I can make it to the top. That's me. Like, I did this. I did it because I got there. I was loyal enough to say, oh, nobody was able to hold me back from doing what I wanted to do. Like, that's what loyalty is. Saying, oh, I'm sticking through it through thick and thin, through hell and freezing rain and everything, through whatever brings me down, I still push through and still make it to the top because that's where I belong in the first place. And that's what loyalty is.
I
Like,
agree.
that's just 100% what it is, because you don't want to go somewhere and give 100% of yourself and someone else half-ass it and give you 50%. You want to go into whatever relationship, whether it be a job, a school project, a relationship, a family, like a family event. Like you want to give 100% of yourself. You want to be like, oh, I might make it.
Preach.
I might show up. I might clock in today. I might get an education. No, go out there and do it. Do you. Do what makes you a better you. And be loyal about it. Whatever decision you make sure you make it. Make sure you make it wisely. And that is what brings us on to our next subject, which is friendship. Let's talk about friendship. How many friends you got? How many friends you
Acquaintances or
got?
real friends?
I really don't
I
have
really don't even know how many friends I
How
have.
many friends do
I
y'all
have-
got?
I have family that's closer, as I consider friends, y'all.
Kind of family too.
Do you know what a friend is? Do you?
What is the true definition of a friend? What is the true definition of friendship?
Friendship. A fully committed and very loving, loyal bond between two
Two
or
people.
more people.
Mm-hmm.
That is friendship. That is when, just like, no matter if you're in that relationship, if you got family members that you consider your best friends, that you got a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a mother, a father, grandmother, grandparent,
Brother, sister,
sister, aunt, uncle, whatever.
whatever you call your friends.
Even people that you work with, people in school. Not all your friends and coworkers that you see or people that you see every day are always with you 100%. Not all of them got you the way that someone else may have you.
They're not gonna hold you down.
They're not always there. And we're gonna discuss that because say you have, let's say you have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Do you look at your boyfriend or girlfriend as your friend?
Yes, I
She's
do.
good. Yeah, I consider her my friend, my partner, my confidant, my everything.
I pretty much consider my best friend that I revolve my world around pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, and I
For
also
better
would
or
say,
for worse.
like, if you're gonna be in love with someone, and it comes to a relationship, not only is there commitment and loyalty and support and just everything that we've talked about, there's friendship. Because with all that, you build a bond with that person, and you become friends first. Because you want to get to know them. Like, if they were your best friend, you want to get to know them inside and out. You want to know their worst fears. You want to know what makes them laugh, what makes them cry, so that, like, you don't cause all those situations. You want to know if you can learn how to make them laugh, you want to make them laugh all the time. If you know what makes them cry, you don't want to see them cry, so you try to do everything in your power to not make them cry. Like, you want to know what makes them mad, what ticks them off, so that you're not out there doing it. But that's what friendship is. You do it to get to know that person. And you do it willingly every single day, knowing and going into this relationship knowing that you're trying to build the best bond that you've ever had. And when you meet that significant other and you build that bond, then your relationship gets stronger, because not only can you say, oh, I love that person, but I love that person not just as a lover, but I love them as a friend. I don't want to lose them, because if I lose them, then I lose a piece of me, because not only do I know them, they know me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's very true.
that, we'll just leave it at that. But until then, we got 6 more topics to talk about, and I think we'll save that for the next video,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Until then, this was Relationships 101. And